Hello everyone, welcome to my corner of the world. Now today I'm going to bring you an artist trading card. I haven't done one for a while, and I thought that I would share a technique that you could use in any form of card making, and that's the Kintsugi technique. And I did a card with using this technique a year or so ago, using gilding flakes, and this time I'm going to do, if you like, a simpler version with embossing powder. Now I've got a piece of decorative paper here, and rather than tear it into pieces to do sort of the gold repair, I'm going to use the embossing powder to create the cracks. So I'm gonna start by just rubbing this little powder puff over there, which takes away any oily finger marks. And then you can use two methods really for this. I found this embossing pen, and basically it's like Versamark. It's a clear sticky ink that has a fine tip, which is one thing that you could use. Or if you don't have one of those, or you can't use it, I'm sure you can't find one, I am sure that you have some paintbrushes handy. So we're going to use a paintbrush, to use the technique with the paintbrushes. So I'm using my refill, my sort of re-inker, and just gonna pop some on a block like that. And then I'm gonna have my embossing powder handy, because sometimes you'd have to sort of put some embossing powder on where you've put some of your ink, because otherwise you can't see where you've been. So we'll just take a little piece of paper for a practice run. So I'm going to make sure I've got the finest tip on my paintbrush as I possibly can, and then I'm going to use the very tip, and I'm just going to draw it as though it was like a crack in the china. So let's see how that works. So that's why you need this handy, so you can see where you've been and what it looks like. So can you see? That's sort of the thing that we're looking for. So I'm going to go for real on my piece of decorative paper here, and it might be, hopefully I'm not getting my head in, it might be easier to see on this paper. So I'm gonna just gently draw down my paintbrush. I can actually just see, but we'll there. So now we put some embossing powder on, and then we should be able to see it. There we go. So hopefully you can just see the little line down here. Now I have got a bit of a gap, so we'll just see if we can fill that. So Kintsugi is basically the art of repairing something without trying to make it perfect, as if you like to show the beauty of the break by exaggerating it. and colouring it with gold. So I'm just going to put a couple more lines in. It's a bit thick that way. There. So let's just go ahead and put the embossing powder, just tap it around so it gets on all the bits that we saw. I'm gonna take off the excess here that has, there we go. So I think we're good. So we're going to give that a little heat. So this is why I decided to just do a small amount, because obviously it does take a little bit of time, and it's sort of up to you how much sort of gold that you wanted to put on. And you can do this on a larger scale, on a card, or like this, just on a small piece. There, I think that's it. So let's see if I can get that to see up for you to see. So it's just like this, maybe as a piece of ceramic that had been dropped and the pieces have been put back together, and instead of trying to hide the cracks, we've enhanced them with the gold. So we'll just put some adhesive on the back. So my base is 3.5 by 2.5, and I've just trimmed this piece, I think about 1/4 inch smaller, so I get a nice little border all the way around to pick out that lovely deep mulberry colour we've got going on there. So this is a sort of a Japanese technique. So I hunted around in my bits to see what I could find that had a bit of a Japanese theme, and I came across some black pieces that I thought I could make it look a bit like a Japanese flower arrangement. And this is a punch, a little tiny label punch, and I thought that that would make a really cute pot. It'll make it look a bit like a pot, a vase or something. So I'm not sure whether that would, I think 3 is too many. We're going to go with 2. So we'll just add a little adhesive and pop that down. I don't want to cover up too much of my lovely gold work, but we'll just see what we can make of it without it going over the top. Like that. And then I think I'm going to pop my little vase up on a double-sided sticky pad, like that. And then in my little book of sayings, I found this one and I took it out so I wouldn't lose it rather than go through it on camera, and it says, "Preserve this keepsake." And I thought, well, how perfect is that? And my vase looks a weeny bit sad. Maybe I should have heat embossed it, but let's just go ahead and we'll pop. I've got a gold dot here. And let's just pop that in the middle. And there we have another artist trading card, but using a different method to create the Kintsugi technique. Well, I do hope you've enjoyed this one. I'm going to bring it in a little bit further so you can see. If you have, perhaps you'll just go ahead, give me a thumbs up, subscribe and share. I would love that. And I'd just like to thank you for choosing to spend a little time with me today, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye for now.